Hi and welcome to my wildlife year, week 6. Last May I think it was, I launched a crowdfunder to raise funds to buy equipment so that I could run free community projects and workshops once restrictions lifted, and also to make videos, which is kind of where my wildlife year came from. I've decided that I'm going to run another crowdfunder this year. It's my 50th birthday soon, and so I'm running one up in a few weeks to my birthday to raise funds to buy some more equipment so that I can expand on the projects that I've already got in the pipeline. Last year I got a moth trap and 10 hedgehog tunnels and a few other bits of equipment and some books, some of which I've already used for my videos and some that I'll be using throughout the year. But I would really like to expand sort of like my projects and like getting people involved and looking at what's in the back garden. So I'd really love to raise £500 to buy 50 more hedgehog tunnels and also a couple of camera traps, trail cams, for people to be able to borrow and put in their garden. I think it's something that I really want to do because I mentioned in my extended episode earlier this week, my chat with Ash Whiffen, that I've been suffering from lockdown guilt. Now, I've looked online and lockdown guilt is a thing, but it mainly seems to be about people who, because they've had more time, haven't done stuff. Well, my lockdown guilt is actually basically because I've actually coped so well. I feel a bit guilty because I read on social media about other people not coping well with lockdown and really struggling, and I've actually found it fairly good. I miss certain things. I miss doing face-to-face environmental and wildlife education work, but I really enjoy this time being able to plan things, being able to learn new skills. Last year I learned how to ID social wasps and I also got into moth trapping. So I feel really guilty that I'm actually coping really well and other people are really struggling, which is again kind of where my wildlife year has come from, because I want people to maybe, if they can, if only a few people benefit from these videos and actually, get some enjoyment and learn something new and maybe do something that helps them. That's great. I'll be really pleased. So I want to develop some projects. I've said local, but I'm not putting a geographical sort of like boundary on it. If someone a bit further away wants to borrow one of my hedgehog tunnels for something, that's great. So the crowdfunder details are online. They're on my link tree. They're at the top of my link tree of all the links that are on there. If you check on the bio on any of my wildlife year social media, and also on my own personal social media, as well as on the YouTube channel, you'll be able to find it. Any donation is welcome. I am not expecting anyone that donated to my crowdfunder last year to donate this year. I just appreciate that you've already helped me. So if you can help, great. If you can't, but you actually want to, once I've got the projects up and running, want to take part, please do. I really want to be able to, get as many people involved and out appreciating the wildlife and finding out what wildlife is in the back garden and then recording it, and we'll send all the records off to the Wildlife Information Centre for them to collate. So that's really my introduction to my wildlife year, week 6. Let's get on with the video. I was wondering what I was going to start off with this in my wildlife year this week, and I mean I've worried because of course I'm in the kitchen, which can only mean one thing, and that there's a small mammal in the mammal trap. Don't know what it is, whether it's a mouse or a vole. Probably a mouse as it's been overnight, but you never know. So let's go and have a look. Yeah, just you back, stay back. You can see it's one of the longworths that's tripped, so we'll take it outside to the workshop and see what it is in it. No great surprise, as they are the most common ones that turn up in the humane traps in the kitchen, it's a wood mouse. So we'll get it out and see whether it's a male or a female, pop it in a tub and then take it for release. It's a female wood mouse, so just pop it in a tub and take it for release. Well, it's quite a snowy day, as you can see, so I'm taking pity on this little wood mouse, and I'm still going to release it, but I'm going to release it in an area where it's more likely to find some nice shelter away from snow. Normally where I release them is just down there, and there's lots of holes and all that, but it's a bit covered in snow at the moment, so I'm going to use this bit here. You can see this bit here, there's a wall that's overhanging with ivy, so it's quite sheltered underneath, and there are obviously lots of gaps in the wall, so I'm going to release the mouse in there. So off you go. There it goes, up there. Welcome to this review section. This week I've chosen a WILDGuides field guide, and it's Britain's Mammals, which is probably, if anyone that knows me, isn't a great surprise that I've chosen this one first out of the WILDGuides series. It was published in 2017. We'd waited a long time for a new field guide for mammals to come out. This one came out in 2017. I got pretty much straight off the press. It is a joy to read. I've read it cover to cover. It's brilliant just for beginners. As an introduction to mammals, because there's stuff in here about how to watch mammals, about watching marine mammals, small mammal trapping, bat watching. But it also is lots of information on mammals, so it's great for the expert as well to find out, because I certainly found out some stuff that I didn't know already. Each of the sections on each mammal has information on distribution, about habitat, identification, their field signs, their feeding, their breeding, there's population, their status. So it's got everything you'd expect in there, some gorgeous illustrations as well, and also some nice stuff in here, like the summary of bat sounds in here, the lovely big illustrations of paw prints as well, feeding signs, spraints, scats, you name it, it's in here for field signs. Really, if you're into mammals, this book is a must-have for your bookshelf. If you're not into mammals yet but you want to, this book is a must-have because it is a brilliant introduction to mammals. So it won't break the bank either. Well under £20 you should be able to find it. I think it's about £17.99 on the NHBS website at the moment. Shop around, you might be able to get it a wee bit cheaper. But definitely go out if you're into mammals, or if you want to get into mammals, and get this book. It's well worth it. Well, nothing in the trap for a few days, and now 2 days in a row. So I suspect it's another wood mouse. As you can see, it's another one of the longworths that has been tripped. And Dexter's knows there's something here, but he's looking at the wrong one. So I'll go and see what it is in the trap. Right, well, today's capture is a male wood mouse, mature. So pop him in a tub and take him for release. Well, it's still very snowy here. Oh, sorry, I'm just getting distracted by, that looks like a bullfinch over there. Let me just see if I can, don't know how you'll be able to see just about there. It's just moved, it's just flying about over there. It's a bullfinch. Nice to see. Right, so just about to release the mouse now. I'm releasing it in the same place as I released the one yesterday, underneath the ivy on the wall, so it's got plenty of shelter and places to hide away in. Welcome to this section. A couple of weeks ago I went through my small work survey bag and my wildlife year. Today we've got to go through my bigger survey bag. I'm indoors because basically it's a bit chilly outside, and if I go outside I have to switch off the heating so the boiler's not making a noise in the video, and that would mean everyone in the house would get freezing. So I'm not just keeping myself toasty, I'm also keeping everyone else toasty because I don't think they'd appreciate me having to switch off the heating in this cold weather. So this survey bag, this is the one that I take out if I'm going out for full days, sort of like, you know, just wildlife watching and I don't know what I'm going to come across. First thing you may notice is I've got a couple of things hanging here. I'll take them off and clip them and take them off here and show you what these actually are. So I use both of these if I'm going out looking for invertebrates in fresh water. This here is actually for feeding pets when you're travelling. You unclip it, put it out, and these pop-up bowls. If you put water in them, they form up like this. They're made of silicone into nice sort of like little dishes that you can actually put invertebrates into to see. And to get the invertebrates I use this little net. It doesn't have to be big, you don't need a huge net when you're going after invertebrates. They are small after all, and it's telescopic, so it gives you that bit of length, but it fits on nicely when it's in like that onto my survey bag. So in the back of the survey bag, little zip here. In here we have a dissection kit. I'm not getting any scalpels in it because I'm not doing that sort of dissecting. What I am doing is dissecting things like owl pellets. So I've got a couple of dissecting needles, a couple of forceps. This is another, actually a third forceps here, and also some round non-pointed scissors for safety, but it's always good to have a pair of scissors with you. I went blank on what those scissors were called there. And in here as well, we've got a couple of wee, a little wee bag, a couple of chopsticks. That's just in case something gets stuck in somewhere that I want to get out. You know, a slug or that is in a crevice and I can't identify it, and I want to, I really like slugs, and I want to identify it, is just coax it out nice and gently with the chopsticks. In the front pocket here, we have got couple of microscopes. This is a clip-on microscope. I can't remember what it goes up to, but it gives not too bad pictures. It clips onto your phone, so the light comes on as soon as you open it up. It clips on like that to your phone, and you get some nice pictures like this. Also in here is another microscope. This one's from the Natural History Museum in London. I got this online. I think at the time it was about tenner. I think they went up to £12.50. I'm not sure what they are now. They actually need some batteries, but it's really good. Just hit one switch to switch it on. 20 to 40 magnification. Magnification is not the important thing though. What's really important is the resolution. It is really good. So it's a nice little field microscope to take out when you go out. In the front of the bag here we have got a pen just in case you need to write anything down. I also carry pencils with me all the time, but this pen also has a, for some reason, has a spirit level in it. I don't know why. Alcohol gel, really useful because that, especially for me when I go out, I handle a lot of dead things and poo and stuff like that, so it's always useful to have some alcohol hand gel on you. In here we also have This bit here is off the putter, and the rest of it is here. So that bung goes in there, this bung goes in here. You suck up here, anything goes, shoots up in small, shoots up in vertebrates, shoot up into here. There's a bit of gauze over here that stops it shooting up into your mouth, so you're not swallowing invertebrates. And you can just take this and pop it into a tub to have a closer look at it. Also in here, I've got a couple of these tubs. I think I covered this before. It's got some kitchen roll in it. The reason for that is it's if you catch something like a bee or something like that, or a wasp, and you want to have a closer look at it, if you push the cotton roll, the kitchen roll down, and just hold it in place so you can have a closer look. Don't shove it down and squash the poor thing. You just put it in enough that you're actually mobilising it to have a closer look at it. A couple of them, also a bug pot with the magnifying top. It's the type that you take out, for doing kids mini beasts, but they do have their uses in the field as well. Is that pocket finished? That's that pocket finished. In this pocket we have got an endoscope. This one attaches to either a computer, that's a basic USB attachment here, but it also flips down into a micro USB which goes into my Android phone, and untangle it, and it goes to quite a length. And this, once you plug it in, light comes on and you can see on your phone what's at the other end. Always be careful if you're sticking it in holes in trees. Bats can be in there. It's illegal to just stick something into a bat roost. But I actually have used an endoscope in things like ponds and that, and it's really good because you can actually go in quite deep. And I've found toad spawn in a pond that we didn't know toads were actually breeding in with an endoscope. So it's always useful to have in there just in case. Pair of gloves just in case I need to handle something. Little monocular. So it saves me having to carry a pair of binoculars around my neck all the time, and so that's handy to have in there. Just there, right. Mosquito net for my head, keeps the midges off if I'm out and about at the wrong time of year and day. Right, nothing else in those pockets. In here, some little pockets in here. I've got a little magnifying glass, just handy to have. But I also have, in a lanyard, I also have a little lens, hand lens here as well. Now this here is the handle from my insect net that folds up. Later on this year, when I'm doing some insect stuff, I'll show you how to, some techniques for catching insects. So just screws on, and this is a nice long net. Now this is quite a short handle. You can get from sort of ecological suppliers really long handles, and they cost a lot of money. Now, a friend of mine, David Dodds, gave me a hint a few years ago, a few years ago. These fittings here are exactly the same as angling nets. So this net here, it extends to 2.2 metres, and I'll extend it, and this net fits on it. So I can really extend this net, and I've used it for catching, stuff that was actually way out into a pond, sort of like dragonflies and damselflies, which is great. And this net, this net handle has a stopper there, so actually it's really good as a walking stick. So quite often I'll take this bag out with this handle. as my walking stick. So that's the insect net. Also in here we have, just in case I haven't got waterproof with me, I have a little folder of waterproof in there. This old tub from a carry out, and it's really useful for not just sort of pond dipping and mini beasts and stuff like that, but also from dissecting an oil pellet. I can keep it all in there. Baby wipes, I don't really like using them that much, but sometimes when I've been touching some pretty disgusting stuff, you need to wash your hands before you use, you know, clean them up as much as you can before you use the alcohol gel. I always make sure I bring any wipes I use back and dispose of the best way I can, rather than leaving them just out in the wilds. Right, bit of laminated paper. This side actually has sort of like a page from the BBC Wildlife magazine from January 1995 on oil pellets and what you might find in them, but that's actually not why I have it in my bag. I have it for that side, and that's because if I'm out and about and I pick up some leaf litter and I sprinkle it in there, or there's a track and I'm not sure whether maybe it's getting used by badgers or that, and I want to look for badger hair, just take a handful of soil and sprinkle it on here and search through it. Because it's laminated, it doesn't matter about if it's wet soil or not, or wet leaf litter, but you can look through the soil for hairs and they'll stand out quite well on the white. Or if it's leaf litter, you might notice this sort of springtails or maybe even a pseudoscorpion scurrying about on it. So a bit of white laminated paper is really useful. Another thing for getting invertebrates is, this is a shower curtain. £1 from the pound shop. Spread it in the ground beneath a tree, beat the tree with a stick or give it a good shake. Invertebrates fall down and you can see them nicely on this sheet, and it doesn't break the bank. Some freezer bags, just in case I come across anything that I want to take home, whether it be some oil pellets, maybe some scat, or a skull if I'm really lucky. And that may, oh no, there's a zip at the back here in this bit. Ah yes, I forgot about this bit. Right, in this one I've got some small sample bottles, just some small sample containers just for popping inverts, and I might need to take a specimen. And this one is actually really useful. It's from SNH, it's Scotland's Biodiversity Festival, Biodiversity Week, 17th to 25th of May, whichever year that was. And it's not so much the little puzzle that's on here that's of interest, it's these here, because it's a ruler. And those foot measurements are really useful if you're out and about and you find a paw print, or maybe a scat or something. It's something you want to actually be able to take a photo of and send off to someone and ask them what it is. It's really useful to have a scale, and it's fine if you put down a set of keys or a coin or something like that. It's even better if you've actually got a ruler. So this is really useful just to pop down the ground next to whatever it is you want, take a photo of it and send it off to someone. So my bag's never this light. That's my main survey bag that I take out. So I hope you find that interesting, and maybe I've given you maybe an idea to what to put in your bag. If you've got any ideas what you think is maybe missing from mine, or any questions about what's in mine, please do get in touch. As always, I'll answer any questions. Out a walk with Dexter, and it's nice and snowy, or it's been snowy for a couple of days ago, so I'm just having a look for tracks. It's a bit of a shame the snow and the way it's frozen, it's not quite the right texture. We're getting great tracks in, but we'll see what we can find. Right, I've not got a hand free because one's got a phone in it and one's got Dexter, and the other one, there's Dexter there. But you can see there's prints going up here And those ones there tell you exactly what it is. It's rabbit. Some more rabbit going through, more than one again. So it makes the prints a bit harder to identify because they're not quite as defined. But I think, oh, some more rabbits over here. I think that's, no, the rabbits aren't here actually, Dexter, this is just the prints. So I think that might be all we're going to see today is rabbits. Yes, there's no rabbits in there, Dexter. Come on, away. I think that might be all we're going to see today. Yes, there's lots of rabbits around, as you can see. It's actually amazing how far rabbits can hop. And if you look here, that's the end of my heel marks the start of the print. That's 1, 2, 3 feet, 3 of my feet, not 3 feet as in the measurement, but 3 of my feet that they've actually went. Now I've got quite big feet. These ones here, again a rabbit, but I think there's actually been, it's been through that gap there, I think there's actually been more than one over it, which has made the prints a bit harder to see. Right, they've actually got prints, don't know whether you can see in the distance, coming right the way down. Dexter, don't you cover them please. Right the way down to here, and you can see, yes Dexter, you can see how big they are. There's my footprint, my foot next to it. It's a fairly big, pretty certain that'll be a pheasant because of the way that it's, they're walking along rather than flying down and flying off again. So not a native bird unfortunately, but still a nice colourful one to see when you're out and about. And again, quite a few rabbits about. I'm a bit behind again this week trying to get my wildlife here edited and uploaded, but here is why. I got a message this morning about an injured bird. Have a look at this. In the box we have a grounded chaffinch. Now, finches quite often suffer from a disease called trichomoniasis, but I don't think this is what's wrong with this one. I was told it had an injured wing, but the wings look okay to me. But I'll give it a once over, but there's no sign. Quite often with the trichomoniasis there's a lot of sort of gunk around the mouth, and there's no sign of that, and also the bird's all fluffed up. Well, this one isn't, and it seems quite alert as well. They're normally quite dopey, so I'll give it a proper once over and see what I can see. But in the meantime, I'm just going to pop it in here with some food and some water. Well, that's me finished my wildlife year week 6. I'll give updates on social media and next week's video and what happens with the chaffinch. Just a reminder about my crowdfunder. If you want to make a donation, no problem. If not, no pressure at all. So I hope you've enjoyed this week, and we'll see you again next week for my wildlife year week 7.